Y'all feel all right? Let me hear you say yeah. Listen. Mustang Sally. Said you better slow that Mustang down. You heard what I said? Mustang Sally now, baby. Said you better slow that Mustang down. About the speed, we got it right here. God Almighty. One of these early mornings, you gonna wake up wiping your weeping eyes. Yeah. All right. All you wanna do is ride around Sally, y'all sing. Sounds so good. All you want to do is ride around Sally. Ride, Sally. All you want to do is ride around Sally. All you want to do is ride around Sally. Y'all sing. One of these early mornings, you gonna wake up wiping your weeping eyes. Yeah. Bought you a brand new Mustang, a 1965. You've been going around signifying, woman, and don't wanna let me ride. Mustang Sally now, baby. Said you better slow that Mustang down. Good God Almighty, Lord have mercy. Yeah. One of these early mornings, you gonna wake up wiping your weeping eyes. You know what I say, girl? All right. God Almighty, good God Almighty knows, y'all.
On behalf of the Walter Reed Society, which is a nonprofit at Walter Reed, they've been around a long, long time. We host dinners here for wounded warriors from Walter Reed. We're going to start them up again here pretty soon. And you're welcome to come here anytime. And don't worry about membership or guests, or just feel free to come in. We open every day at 11 o'clock and on the weekends on Sunday at noon to watch the game, Saturday at 2:30. So feel free. Every weekend, every Friday and Saturday night, we have bands here. So just feel free. I'd like to, on behalf of the Walter Reed Society, who knows all about Angela and what she's doing, I'd like to present from them to her a check for $1,000.
Well, good evening, everybody. As Angela already said, I'm Claudia Caramelo. And I know you're probably wondering why Caramelo, right? And it's not because I'm brown. It's because I'm sweet and thick. So I would like to let you all know that I am not Puerto Rican, I'm Mexican. In case you wanted to buy me a drink, I'll take tequila shots, and if they come with tacos, you get extra points. So first of all, I want to thank Angela for letting me come here and be with y'all tonight. And I want to thank the American Legion. I'm very impressed. I thought they were going to feed us MREs. So I was ready with my canteen, and I was ready to go. So I just want you to know that I feel like I have the obligation to let you know what's the real reason why I'm here tonight. And that's because they told me if you all laughed, I would get my citizenship. Thank you. But for those of you that did not laugh, I'm gonna need you to now make a donation because that's why we're here. We're here to take your money, of course, and support a final salute. So go ahead and empty out your pockets. But wait, you might not have cash. We take credit, check, cashiers, whatever you have, we'll take it all. So go ahead and go for broke. Let's support the cause. So I haven't been up here, I haven't been on stage in a while, so I'm trying to get the jiggers out, right? But as a Mexican, it's kind of hard sometimes because we get called all kinds of slurs, you know? Like I've been called like a wetback. I've been called essay, like I'm a written composition. And I've even been called a beaner, but that's the one I don't understand. Like, why am I called a beaner? Is it because I eat a lot of beans? I mean, they're good for you, and they relieve intestinal stress, so what's the problem? Still don't understand. I'm also always told that I'm late. But, I mean, it's not my fault, right? Growing up, my mom told me that every time I went to a party, she told me, si eres la primera en llegar, vas a llegar a barrer, which means if you're the first one, you're gonna be sweeping. And I don't like to sweep. So I'm always late, right? My kids were born so late that they were born in the 4th trimester and came out eating tacos. My cousin Margarita, she was always late going to school. When she finally made it to school, it was her graduation day. Let me tell you, if you go to a Mexican party and they tell you it's 3 o'clock, show up at 7. You'll be on time. And if it's a kids' party, guaranteed you're gonna have more kids than beer. Guaranteed. And never bring a gift, but always bring 5 or more friends. Just makes it funner that way, right? So listen, growing up as a Mexican, it was a struggle. You know, we grew up poor. Who grew up poor but didn't know you were poor till you were an adult? Yeah, most of us, right? So it was a struggle. Having 12 siblings it's a lot, right? So every time we wanted to go to the aquarium, we just went to our neighbor's yard and we saw their koi pond. That was fun. We wanted to go to Six Flags one day, but then we realized we couldn't all say we were 2 years old, so we scratched that plan. And then traveling anywhere, you know, having one car per family. You know, it's just very uncomfortable to fit 16 people in a Fiat. So, telling you, being Mexican's a struggle. So I was determined that as an adult, my kids were gonna be better than that, right? So I decided to do better for my kids. So now they have their own room, they have their own TV, and they even have their own dad. So I was determined, mission accomplished. But hey, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on to the real comedians tonight. And we're gonna start off. Now, Dave is unique. That I remember, because I still don't have the paper. So first and foremost, let me let you know that all the comedians up here tonight, to include myself, we were all ASAP graduates from the Comedy Club. So for those of you that don't know what ASAP is, it is not the Alcoholic Anonymous thing that the Army does. No, it actually stands for Armed Services Arts Partnership. And they actually are kind enough to host these courses for all veterans. And that's how we became educated comedians, I guess. So, so Dave will come up first, and he actually served in almost all the branches except for one. Which one did you not serve, Dave? Marines. Oh, he figured he wasn't strong enough for the Marines. He took all the easy ones first. So, meet Dave. He's up next. Give him a big round of applause.
Also, those quotes around educated kids, that felt hurtful. Why were you looking at me when you did that? So I've started 3 branches. Obviously, I'm a member of the vaccinated Air Force. It's my son told me it said. He laughed too. I don't know what's going on with that. I have the dubious privilege of serving in the Navy, the Army Guard, and currently the Air Force Reserve. That's the bad news. The good news is if I do join the Marine Corps, I've got my rewards card, so I get the Coast Guard for free. It's kind of nice. Nobody wants the Space Force. They just put that in the bag at the bottom and you throw it out later. I'm not joining the Marines. Are there any Marines in the house? I knew it was too quiet. All right. I'm too old, but let's be honest, I'm not gung-ho enough to be a Marine. I mean, look at me. Don't get the wrong idea. I'm an adequate amount of gung. But it's not for me. There is one thing about the Marines I'm jealous of. That's the Marine Corps birthday. Oh my goodness. Marines love their birthday more than small children love their birthday. Which is weird because they don't get like a pony or a magician or a presents. They get cake. That's nice, but I don't get it. Slight echo. Sorry, very distracting. How are you guys doing? Good. Like a lot of veterans, I do have some weird things that have happened to me in my service. I love flying, which is weird. I mean, not a lot of people love flying. And it's not because commercial aviation's great. I have very low standards. Because as a flight medic in the Air Force, I have flown a lot of hours in places where people were literally trying to murder me. So I just, places like Afghanistan and Newark. So it just doesn't bother me. Your worst flight is, we were 30 minutes late and there was no Wi-Fi, and my worst flight is 18 hours over the Hindu Kush with a plane full of wounded people while angry guys in robes shot RPGs at us. Oh, good times. I think we just have different travel agents. That's what I'm saying. Yours sounds way better. I did serve in Afghanistan. I do have one kind of proposal as we're wrapping things up. Hopefully we won't forget our keys this time. Fingers crossed. There have been a lot of operations. We've been doing it a long time. I'm sure you guys know. There was Operation Enduring Freedom. That's like the greatest hit. That's the Hotel California of Afghanistan, right? But there were others. There's Operation Freedom's Sentinel, or as I like to call it, Operation Awkward Apostrophe. The original name for combat operations in Afghanistan was Operation Infinite Justice. I think somebody very quickly in the Pentagon went, ooh, ixnay on the infinite A. No, they're not supposed to find out about that until 10 years in. So here's my proposal. I say let's just combine them all into one thing called Operation Enduring Operation. I feel like that really captures, it just reduces confusion, and 20 years from now when some snot-nosed kid is in history class like, this is dumb, this name it's redundant, it doesn't tell me anything about why we were there, and their history professor can go, oh, he gets it. A+. I love flying. I will say this, flying commercial, there's the boarding announcements annoy me. You're just trying to get comfortable, and they keep interrupting like, welcome aboard Flight 417. Your cabin team today is Susie, Doug, and Judy. I don't need to know your names. You seem to understand that our friendship is very temporary. So I prefer they just do nothing. But if they have to talk, can they at least be, like, honest? Can they be honest, you know? Welcome aboard Flight 417. The people putting up with you today are Susie, Doug, and Judy. Susie's brand new. She's 20, a former model. And she's already engaged to one of our pilots. She's sweet, and she sure does try hard, but she is occasionally startled by her own tits. Bless her heart. Doug just got dumped by his longtime girlfriend. He's going to be spending the flight hiding in the back, scrolling through old Instagram photos and crying into a Sky Mall magazine. So if y'all are in Doug's section, just get your own damn pretzels. My name's Judy. I'm your senior flight attendant today. I've been doing this job for 23 years, and I swear to God, I am just one hey sweet cheeks ass pat away from opening this door mid-flight and killing us all. That's relevant information. You can interrupt my podcast for that. I'll leave you guys with this. Like a lot of veterans, like a lot of people here probably, I do suffer from PTSD. Luckily, it's not the serious kind. Hallmark is not going to be making a movie of the week about how sometimes Dave gets really sad for no reason and then cries uncontrollably at a SpongeBob cartoon. No, there's no VA disability rating for that. You don't get a check. You just get invited to fewer kids' parties. That's all for me. Thank you all so much. I'm Dave McOwen.
Thank you. But listen, now that you all made me a citizen, and that's assuming that they're going to keep their word, right? But I just want to let you guys know I'm going to do my due diligence, because now I will register to vote. I will pay my own taxes. And I will work under my real name and then complain about all the other Mexicans that take my job. Take all those jobs that nobody else wants. But there is one thing that makes me very sad being a citizen. And that is that I have now disqualified from that free trip back to where I came from. I guess now I will have to pay for my own flight. And hopefully I don't get Judy and whoever Dave was talking about, because, I'm not trying to do all that. But let's go ahead and bring up, this time, for real, we're going to bring Dominique Cannon. And she is like a cannon. She is prior Army, and she's a combat vet, and she's, of course, a stand-up comedian, because she's here today. She's from the DMV. She was formerly a linguist, and her favorite language is money. Hey, we all have something in common. Give it up for Dominique.
Give it up for yourselves. I mean, you guys are here tonight supporting a great cause. Give it up. Woo. Thank you. I want to give a special thanks to Claudia for inviting me tonight. This event actually touches home. A lot of you guys may not have noticed, even though she said she. I see this guy's still a little confused. These are not mosquito bites. I am a woman. Okay? And I know my name is confusing too, but I feel like my mom knew, you know what I mean? Like, there are a couple of signs, but the main sign, I came out lickety-split. Y'all slow. But seriously though, at one point, 9 years ago, I actually classified myself as a homeless veteran. And, it was serious, I'm actually ashamed. Not necessarily because I was a homeless veteran, but more because I found out a year ago that not only am I homosexual, but I'm actually a hobosexual. Some of y'all know what that means. Some of y'all are confused, and that's okay. So what a hobosexual is someone who finds love with people who have leases or mortgages to find like shelter. You know what I mean? Like, think like Sugar Baby, but a little bit more, you know what I mean? A little more sugar, But I didn't know. It wasn't on purpose or anything like that, you know what I mean? But long story short, I was not a homeless veteran. My girlfriend just broke up with me, okay? There it is, it's out there, okay? So, I don't know, I guess there were a lot of rules about, having to have a job, something about having to be monogamous, and the next thing I know, boom, I was like, what was me? I'm a homeless veteran, and like, but no, I'm homosexual, and that's okay. I'm fine with it. There's a lot of letters in the alphabet, you know what I mean? I'm not just an L, I am also an H, and that's fine, you know what I mean? A lot of people thought I was a T, and it's like, no, and that's okay, you know what I'm saying? They're all family and stuff, but I just feel like, wanting to be a man in this day and age is kind of defeating the purpose, right? Like, I feel like, being a lesbian is a woman that likes women, and I feel like I got all the cheat codes already, you know what I mean? Like, no, Bob, I don't want to be a man. I don't want to be in your locker room. That's just defeating the whole purpose. I hope I don't let you guys down tonight. I feel like my life is already a disappointment. Thank you. Not for me, but for like other people, like my parents, bill collectors, my therapist. But it's cool though, because I feel like Army is like, I feel like pills are like the new Army for me. And unlike the Army, they make me like all that I can be. I'm serious. Like when I was in the Army, I was paranoid. Like they had this rule in the Army and it was called don't ask, don't tell. Obviously no one had to ask. It's not that funny. I was in, but everybody could tell. So like I found myself like doing like little things like to figure out like what was going on. You know what I mean? Like I would like in the morning for PT, I would be running. Then I checked to make sure I wasn't like leaving behind rainbow sprinkles. You know what I mean? And then like I didn't want like my friends like to like have the stigmatism of being my friend. And so like to greet them and like, until I got on Article 15, like I would just be like, hey girl, what's up? And then I just kick them right in the vagina, you know what I mean? Because like I didn't want to blow my cover too much, you know what I mean? I didn't want to blow it, so I did what I had to do. And I thought that was the right move. I knew it was bad, like when I got in trouble for like sexually harassing the guys. I went into the drill sergeant's office. They're like, Cannon, you got to stop asking guys out for dates. And I'm like, why? Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? They're like, they think it's a dude hitting on them, and now you're really exposing yourself more than you probably should. So I stayed single while I was in the military for 4 years. That's it, long story short. But when I was in the military, like Claudia said, I was a linguist. I was an interrogator, and the funnest part was I was an alcoholic, y'all. I was an alcoholic, and it was lit. I feel like that's my friend back there. I feel like we should start like a drinking Olympics team or something. Seriously. But like the best part about being a drunken linguist is honestly not paying your bills. How you ask? I know a couple of languages, so I just answer the phone in different languages. I started with Korean, 안녕하세요. And like, I don't know if you guys noticed this about American customer service, but like they only know like 2 languages, and both of them are English. One is just regular English, another one is like slower and louder. So I just keep that same energy up because at the end of the day, like, I like my assets, but I do not like paying bills. And so when they're like, do you speak English? I just respond back real cool, like, halakaika al-deshaj. Halakaika al-deshaj. Y'all know what that means? You know what it means? That's Arabic for, do you have chicken? And it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, they're not getting a payment out of me because I can't speak their language, right? So now it's like, cool, like, I feel like I'm in control of the conversation, so I just make up like a foreign language. Just my own stuff. I just like, fong dalang she, and then I hang up, you know what I mean? I feel like being an interrogator and a linguist was pretty cool being in Afghanistan. I felt like my recruiter kind of set me up for failure, though. He lied to me. He was like, yeah, Private, when you go out there and interrogate, you're going to come back and hang out poolside on the Pentagon with your linguist friends doing linguist stuff. And I was like, oh, my God, sign me up. So in Afghanistan, I was Cannon, the interrogator / linguist. lost. Doesn't that sound cool? No, when you're at home, I actually had to do a lot of duties. I picked up trash. I was a mechanic. I was a housekeeper. And I felt like a substitute Mexican. I don't know, like, but not like, I know it sounds racist, it sounds terrible, but hear me out, because I'm not talking about like not like the real Mexicans. I'm talking about the ones that they talk about on TV. You know what I mean? The scary ones that we're building the wall for. I don't know. Don't judge me. All I'm saying is military intelligence does not stand for rocket science. If they would have built that wall like more successfully, we wouldn't know what side to stand on. We'd have been standing there like, sorry, I got a question. I don't know, but when I was in the Army and I was paranoid, it was because like they were giving out uniforms and they tried to hand me a rainbow ribbon. And when they tried to hand it to me, I didn't know what to think. You know what I mean? Because it was don't ask, don't tell. So I was handing out my hand, it was real casual, and then like I saw the rainbow dropping. Like I watched it in slow motion. And I did what any smart lesbian in the military at that time would have done. I moved my hand quick as hell, and I kicked it across the floor. And I said, look here, Sergeant, I'm not even gonna ask you what that's about, but I'm gonna tell you and Satan in the back, not today. Y'all not about to mess with my military intelligence. And that's when I found out that my buddy was right. He was like, girl, pick that ribbon up off the floor. That's not a gay ribbon. That's actually the Army service ribbon. Everyone gets one for being in the Army. I was so confused. Because it was like the most ironic participation ribbon I ever had in my life. And it was my favorite. Oh my God, it was my favorite. Like I wore it everywhere outside of the military. When I got out, I wore it for like 3 years straight. On everything, like just regular jackets, my bathing suits. Don't recommend wearing it on your bathing suit. I mean, your birthday suit. I don't recommend that. But I did have to explain it a lot. So I just looked at everybody in the windows of their soul and I said, I'm out and I'm proud, baby. But honestly, it's hard being a lesbian that looks like me sometimes, especially when you're on the elevator with an old white lady. A sexy one. Y'all ain't never been on an elevator with a sexy old white lady? No? Okay. You have. Look at this guy. You dirty dog, you. I know. I've been there. And so check it out, man. Like, this is actually probably my last homosexual experience I had before I bought my own home, which is exciting. Give it up. I bought my own home. Woo! I thought I was a homeless veteran. But no, I was getting on the elevator, and I held the elevator door open because I saw the sexy white lady come on the elevator. I was like, shit, next home coming up. So you know, I held the elevator door open for her. She looks at me, and she's like, thank you, baby. And I said, you're welcome, ma'am. And she said, you going down? I said, I can. So now I feel like, I feel like I have a love connection, y'all. Like, I felt like I had a golden girl. Like, I'm looking at her like, could she really be my pal and confidant? You know what I mean? So, I don't know, long story short, she's looking at me, I'm looking at her, I'm looking her up and down. And that's when I realized Blanche is clutching her purse. So now it's weird, it's awkward, like, I gotta explain this generational and cultural gap. And I'm not about this life, I'm not trying to give this lady a heart attack. So I did what anybody, at least a good red-blooded American would do in my situation. I stole her purse. I found her driver's license. I moved in her house, okay? And I mean, it's all good because I know at the end of the day, I did right because after I stole her purse and had dinner, and I'd say that's important because, it doesn't matter what I look like, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter what I wear. I'm still a lady. And I still like my dinner paid for too, right? Right? Am I right? Right? So after the little fiasco in the elevator, I just wrote her a letter. I thanked her for being a friend. Then I locked the door and let her in. And now we're married. So I'm no longer a hobosexual. I am now an official sugar baby, y'all. Give it up. Woo! I want to thank y'all for your time. I want to thank you guys for supporting such a great cause tonight. And I'm giving the mic back to Claudia. Y'all have a great night. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the comics. Let's give it up for Claudia. Let's give it up for Dave. Let's give it up for Dominique. So as Claudia said, my name is Kelsey Storr, and I know that when you heard Kelsey, what you were expecting was about 5'3", blonde-haired, blue-eyed beach bunny. Yeah, it ain't that kind of party, people. What you're gonna get, about 6 feet tall, bald, beautiful, wait for it, built for comfort, black man. Take it in. I'll wait. So, when you have a name like Kelsey, sometimes different things happen. You know, some are good, some are not so good. Sometimes you can end up in the system. And I can tell you my name almost got me in the system one time. So I'm in Philadelphia taking a train, and I go to, pay for my ticket. So I get my credit card. Credit card says Kelsey A. Storr. Ticket agent looks at me, looks at the card, looks at me. She goes, really? Kelsey? My brother? I said, no, for real, that's me. Hold up. And I give her my ID, and she felt bad. She starts beating herself up. She goes, oh, I'm so sorry. That was so disrespectful. I'm so sorry. I said, whoa. No. Don't beat yourself up. I kept the name after the surgery. So another thing that I did in my traveling life was I spent time in Korea because, one of the things Dominique was talking about, annyeonghaseyo, okay? If you can get through Korea, that's the one thing you got to know because it means hello, goodbye, I love you, fuck you, give me your money. So I'm checking out of the JW Marriott in Seoul and about to step up to the counter and I look up and the young lady behind the counter, her name is Kelsey. Now, I'm in Seoul, South Korea, and her name is Kelsey. Okay. Bet. So I walk up, and I, go to check out, and she looks at me. She goes, annyeonghaseyo. And I say, annyeonghaseyo. And she says, how can I help you? I said, hi, I'm Kelsey Storr. I'm checking out a... You're Kelsey Storr? And I said, yeah. She goes, well, I've wanted to meet you for so long. And I said, well, why? She said, because I've seen your name on the registry, and I wanted to meet Kelsey Storr. And I got to be honest with you, I've never seen a Kelsey that looks like you. And I said, well, I ain't never seen one that looked like you. And she said, well, that's cool. And we yucked it up for a while. And then while I was going to Korea all the time, I went 27 times in 4 years. But every time I stayed at the JW Marriott, I got a suite on per diem. So international relations, I am all about them. We'll get to the interracial relations. I'm about them too. But hold on. So as Claudia said, I was in the Navy for 24 years. And thank you. And like anybody that is in the military, you get lonely, you miss, you want to connect with somebody. You want somebody to come home to, right? So I called myself falling in love. And in calling myself that I fell in love, I decided I was going to get married. So I call my parents from San Diego. And I tell my dad, my parents are divorced, so I call my dad first. I call my dad and I said, Dad, I'm getting married. He said, to what? I said, to a girl? And he said, well, what religion is she? And I said, what are you, the Pope? Because my dad is the most irreligious libertine you've ever met in your life. Okay, both my parents now are almost 80 years old, so they're little old people trying to get into heaven. So, but they are serial matrimonialists. Between my two parents, they have 6 marriages. Yeah, fuck Elizabeth Taylor. So, so he says, well, what religion is she? And I said, She's a Mormon. He said, white girl. I said, well, let's not think. He said, where's she from? I said, Montana. He said, definitely white girl. He said, have you told your mother yet? No, sir. He said, you got to tell your mama you got 2 weeks. He said, but when you tell her, he said, I want to be on this 3-way call because this is going to be epic. So I call. I'm grown-ass man. I'm in the Navy. I'm a sailor. I hadn't seen a ship yet, but I knew I was somebody. So I decided, okay, I call my mother. Mom, how you doing? First of all, I'm an only child, so you know where this is going. All right, so yes, what did I do? I broke the cardinal rule. If she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. So I tell my mother what's going on. And my mother says, I said, Mom, I'm getting married. Now understand, my mom's an elementary school teacher. And she goes, and what hue is she? Hue? That's like a control on an old television. Nobody says hue. So I said, well, she's flesh colored. And she says, well, what color's her flesh? And I said, well, depends on the time of year. And she said, it's a white girl. And I said, well, Mom, why can't we just all be human? Damn that, white girl. She says, give me her number. Again, I'm grown. Shh, I gave her the number. I'm afraid of you. I gave her the number, so she calls my fiance. She offers my fiance $1,000 and a cruise not to marry me. I'm not joking. I'm for real serious. Offered her $1,000 and a cruise not to marry me. I have never been so offended in my entire life. If I had known my mother had $1,000 burning a hole in her pocket, I wouldn't have done that. I'd have done that for like $500. Right? I wouldn't have child support, alimony, have my retirement gone. But no. So it was interesting. So my mother is Mary Storr is very interesting. Because like I go to visit my mother now, and my mom lives in Miami Gardens, Florida, and she's retired. And when I go to visit my mother, it's kind of like 12 Years a Slave meets The Help. So when I'm in Mary Storr's house, I learned 3 things about myself. Would you like to know what they are? Yes. Okay. I am not kind, I am not smart, and I am unimportant. That's what I learned about myself when I go to visit my mother, because I wash more dishes and cook more. I didn't wash that many dishes when I lived at home. She goes out and gets dishes from other people for me to wash when I come home. This is how my mother treats me. I'm hurt. I need therapy. But so I decided to get even with everybody in my family. And so what did I do to get even with everybody in my family? Yeah, I went out and I got 23andMe and I gave it away for Christmas. Nothing says love, nothing says compassion like a DNA test at Christmas. So when I gave this test out, I gave it to my mother, I gave it to my wife, I gave it to my father, I gave it to my children, I gave it to my eldest granddaughter. And I explained to both my mother and my wife, I'm giving you this test. I'm here to tell you this. There better be some direct lines in this test or we got problems. So as I said, I have 3 children. Okay, so that means I have 3 Africans. So that means I'm responsible for 1.5 black people. Okay, so my eldest child really doesn't care about much. He's just in his own little world and he's happy, and I don't pick the flowers and I leave him alone. And my middle son, he's kind of got a little attitude these days because he went from being the baby to being a middle. And when you're the middle child, now I got to deal with all of that Marsha bullshit. So he's always got an attitude, right? So my youngest thinks he's the fair-haired golden child. Number 2 son and number 3 son get in arguments about who's blacker. Both their mamas whiter than Wonder Bread, but they gonna argue about who's blacker. And so my youngest gets over because in the DNA test that came back that there were more areas on the African continent that showed up in him than showed up in my other son. So my middle son decided he had to outdo the younger one, so he went to Ethiopia to get a wife. Yeah, he went to the motherland. He imported some shit. He just, come on, bring me your tired, your poor. No. So that's how he gets down. My children are not candidates for Mensa. I wish they were. They're not smart. They're not. They're the Isley brothers. I made child number 2 and 3 to that. I mean, so there's a couple of things that I want to impart upon you because I think we're friends, okay? And I'm going to treat this like therapy, okay? Because I'm too cheap. But when I was a younger man, okay, I was a dog. I'm not going to lie. This is like a confession. It's like a 12-step program. I was a dog. Chased and chased and chased. Oh my God, that I chased all over the planet. Okay? But now at 58, I'm no longer a dog. I'm a buzzard. That means I'm too fat, lazy, and slow. I'm too fat and lazy to slow to hunt, but I still love to kill. So y'all go ahead and stay with me on this. Stay with me on this. Stay with me on this. I need so much help. So here's another thing that I don't get, okay? Now at my age, I have a dog, okay? Now I live vicariously through my dog, and I can't even do that because I have a 17-year-old Cocker Spaniel, okay? Susie Store cares about nothing. Okay, Susie Store is running for Congress next year. It's Susie Store 2020, no fucks given. Susie Store is waiting on 2 things to happen. You know what they are? Jimmy Carter and Betty White to die. Because she believes that there can be only one and she wants the championship belt. So she's gonna bury Betty White because she's trying to, I really think the dog's gonna outlive me. But it's just what we have in my house nowadays. So there's one thing I want to share with you. And since we're at church, right, I want y'all to come somewhere with me. I want you to come somewhere with me. All right? You know, sometimes you gotta let God handle it. I don't think you heard me. I need some help. I said sometimes you need God to handle it. You know why you need God to handle it? Because if you do, you go into jail. My name is Kelsey Storr. Thank you, and y'all have a good night.
Give it up for Kelsey Storr, guys. Doing this great cause. So please help us out in every way you can, any way you can. This is going for a great cause. And that is it for the comedy show. So give it up for our comedians, Dave McOwen, Dominique Cannon, and Kelsey Storr. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you.